What do you believe, but cannot prove? Around 1995 I was away in college. Broke up with a girlfriend, and when she left she took the remote for the TV. I just figured I misplaced it. I moved back to my hometown a month later. Soon I bought a new TV and never thought about it again. About 4 years later we get back in contact. We were from the same geographic area. She drops by my new place for a coffee, and after she leaves I can't find the remote for my, now new, TV. I search everywhere, and in a crack under the back cushion on the couch I found the remote for the old TV. Never did find the remote I needed for the new TV. I'm sure she stole both of them and pulled the switcheroo years later. One of my best friends from middle school up and disappeared with his entire family. Seriously. There one day, totally empty house the next. No phone calls, no texts, no social media. I'm convinced the whole family was in witness protection. I sold my Nintendo Wii for a profit as a kid. My parents bought it for $250, I sold it for $400, so I made $400 since it wasn't my money. I showed my uncle the day I got paid. Next thing you know I check my money again that night because $400 was a lot for me, and now it's only $200. I guess my uncle left me half, which was generous. I can't prove this, but he was arrested for breaking into a house and stealing some things, so that leads me to believe that I was right. That my sister-in-law was fucking my brother's best friend while my brother was in the hospital fighting leukemia. My brother died and the best friend moved into sister-in-law's house 6 months later. I went to a Guns N' Roses aka Axl Rose concert during the Barrelhead days, around 2006 I think. Anyway, I'm about 99% sure that the singer on stage was not really Axl. I was such a huge fan, so I'd seen them on this tour a couple times already. He looked like Axl and sounded like him, but there was something off about it. Can't put my finger on it, but I really think that it was a very good impersonator. Gonna sound crazy AF, but, you know targeted ads? You talk about buying a new skateboard and you get ads for buying a skateboard? I swear I'm getting ads for shit I only thought about. That some people wait around until they see someone sitting or parked by themselves and then go sit or park close to them. I don't know what their goal is, but it happens so many times there has to be something going on. Prince Andrew does actually sweat. Subway was much higher quality 20 years ago. I can believe this as well. I can't really say I like Subway more or less now, but so much stuff seems to have gotten worse over the years. Also, I don't know if this is a factor, but I recall somebody saying that the change in food flavors had to do with the movement to eliminate trans fats from foods, so ingredients were altered. Childhood friends stole my copy of Super Smash Bros. Melee. Haunts me to this day. Did they do it? I'll never know. That's treason. There is some culture on Earth that has realized that denim is better for drying hands than both tissue paper and air dryers, and so has denim paper instead. Sir, I'd like to talk to you about a business proposition. My best friend was driven to suicide directly by my ex-girlfriend, his then-girlfriend, as a way to get back at me. It worked. Jesus fuck. I'm sorry for your loss. I'm physically disabled, and as my issues have worsened with time I've gone from directly working with patients to a desk job. Around the time COVID started, I finally had to request some gear to be able to do my job due to my issues. At my employer, this sort of thing comes out of the office budget. Recently I got an interview for another area, and it went really well. A short time after, a coworker I vaguely know contacted me and asked me a lot of questions about my disability and the recent aid I needed to continue doing my job. I didn't think anything of it, as people get curious and ask me questions every so often. She did ask a lot of oddly in-depth questions about how our employer made changes for my disability. Time passes, and I hear nothing about the position. I contact the hiring manager, and whereas before she was friendly and open, she talks to me now like she has someone with a gun standing behind her and she's afraid to say the wrong thing. Eventually she tells me the position was filled, and she doesn't know why I wasn't told, even though she's the one who would do the notification. A few days later it's announced that the woman who was asking me all the questions got the job. I had no idea she was interviewing, and I suspect one of her higher-up friends tipped her off I was her competition. From things that have happened since, I suspect she talked about me in the interview, and convinced the hiring manager hiring me would mean expenditures to account for my disability, and that being disabled I wouldn't be able to keep up with my work like non-disabled employees. But I can't prove any of it. I would be perfectly happy doing absolutely nothing productive for the rest of my life if I didn't have to worry about money. My best friend's husband murdered her and staged it as a suicide. To this day I don't believe she took her own life. Intelligent life exists outside of our solar system. I bet the odds that intelligent life exists elsewhere in the universe is near 100% because of how fucking big the universe is. But the odds that we will ever find it is near 0% because of how fucking big the universe is. We need to try and find intelligent life inside our solar system first. In the near future, an app or social media site will be created that essentially functions the way labor unions were meant to function. It will cause upheaval. Places like Walmart and manufacturers will suddenly have to deal with flash strikes. Google Maps collects data on speeding/driving habits and sells them to insurance or another private company, even with location off. I don't believe this, but I overheard a friend talking roughly 2 months ago about how everything was fine until we raided Area 51. People in general across the world want to live in peace. That what I see as blue is the same as what you see as blue. This may be provable, but I can't. Honestly, I think about this a lot, like we are all taught what colors are called, so there is no real way to know what I see and call blue is the same hue as you. I wonder if that's why some people are better at color coordination than others. Jim stole my Sharpie back in 9th grade. If you're reading this, Jim. Fuck you. No, fuck you. Tom Brady destroyed his cell phone during Deflategate not because of evidence that he conspired to deflate balls but because he had evidence that his friend was cheating on his wife. That friend? Ben Affleck. Deflategate began on January 18, 2015. The first stories about Affleck cheating broke in June of that year. Brady destroyed his phone in March, presumably when Affleck's relationship with the nanny was in full swing and would have been broken had messages or photos from his phone confirming the affair had leaked. When you think about the situation, it's extremely unlikely that Brady had damning evidence on his phone. If he knew he was cheating, there was no reason to be so foolish as to put in writing requests to deflate balls when he could see equipment managers in person anytime he wanted. Conversely, if he wasn't cheating, there would be no reason to destroy his phone to conceal anything, although he might have understandably just wanted privacy. But what if instead, he had compromising material unrelated to Deflategate that he knew would get out of the notoriously leaky NFL league office? It could be anything, really, but it makes far more sense than Deflategate-related explanations. In that context, it makes a ton of sense that it might be related to Affleck given the timing and their closeness. Some people/celebrities fake their deaths to retire from public eyes. People reporting alien abductions are remembering fragments of their birth. Having never used their eyes before, everything looks like a bright light. They are helpless and can't move. Medical hats and masks makes a person look like the classic green alien. Big eyes, no nose or mouth, and elongated heads. There are alien civilizations out there that are a million years ahead of us, a million years behind us, and everything in between. Social media has made everything worse. I remember when the internet was just becoming a thing, and I thought it would be revolutionary. Everyone would have access, the accurate information would never be in the dark again. Instead, services like Facebook are designed to feed people's disillusions for extra clicks, and people fall for it hook, line and sinker. Subway was much higher quality 20 years ago. I can believe this as well. I can't really say I like Subway more or less now, but so much stuff seems to have gotten worse over the years. Also, I don't know if this is a factor, but I recall somebody saying that the change in food flavors had to do with the movement to eliminate trans fats from foods, so ingredients were altered.